Mate, already
I'm
started
good.
recording. We got straight into it.
Oh, really?
How you doing, mate?
Let's go. Mate, I talk to you more than I talk to anyone else these days.
I know, mate. Mate, I'm feeling the same. I've got a wedding to plan for in January, and yet my focus should be on that. However, more my focus is on Matt Parker and this and everything else. You all good?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. We got a few things to cover today, right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's be a good one. Bigman Weekend. Got a look at the Natural France show, and we'll finish this off by once again, because this will go out tomorrow. That'll be the Friday, and by then the winner of the Pro Coach of the Year award would have already been announced. So there's no harm in me talking about it at the end of it, and hopefully then by then the answer will have come out. And like I said, this is the one that's really been bugging me, and you can understand why. I mean, just we've gone back and forth with the other guys and yourself, Jace with his 7 pro cards, Callum with what his guys are doing on the pro circuit, Zach on both sides, the guy of Olympia, the pro card wins as well, Martin Winston, consistent, not just IFBB, FBC, but also PCA through Alex Lord. And then you've still got the others, Rob LRF. There's a reason why he is the leader when it comes to the most number of pro cards, 26 versus Callum's 25. And then, of course, even Tom Hames with what he's done this year, he's secured a couple of the pro cards. AJ Morris on the natural scene, Josh McHale with what he's doing, especially through PCA. Dan Wolben, another year cleaning up the PCA scene. Of course, Cuba with over Olympia with Megan and Ria. I think I named every single coach there.
I think you did really well there, mate.
I was going to stop at 4, then I thought, fuck it, I got to keep going so I don't miss anybody.
Yeah, so a lot to cover, and you are absolutely right, mate. So it's a big decision, for the panel to choose that, because they've all got such great accolades. They've all had a really good year, so it's tough. I know we were talking about it a couple of days ago, and you said that moving forward into future years, you do that Coach of the Week award, and that will make it a lot easier. When you see that name consistently coming up, it will make it easier. So
exactly, yeah. With the Coach of the Week, where we have 3 coaches, that's not first, second, third. It's just 3 coaches that have stood out on that weekend, and that will play a key part going into next year. Whereas, like for example, Jace has done 4 back-to-back, but that's because he's had a very strong finish. Not to mention he's been consistent throughout the year, but people will have strong time. There'll be periods where some will have stronger than others, and then other people will jump in there. But that will be a true measuring stick to show that consistency in the coach that we look for in regards to results and what they do with their clients. So, look, we're going to go straight into Bigman Weekend. I'm going to bring in Michael Fox, who we had to talk about the pro coach the other day. Michael, how you doing, mate? You're good?
I'm good. I'm going to try and adjust this seat because I'm literally...
Look, man, we're going to go straight into it. And before I can go into the pro show, let's just take a quick touch on your client, because you did have somebody compete over at Bigman Weekend in Naya. And I believe this was Naya's last show of the season. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Naya's last show for a long time. I hope. I think it's quite evident. She needs a time off. She needs to focus her attention on business, her family, and also in making the improvements necessary. Where she's at now, she can keep going to shows like FitX, these other feds, and probably taking first place, if not the overall. But now this weekend was a big one for me, because I needed her to see some recognition for how good her physique is, and understand that people want to see her in these lineups now. They don't want to see her announced as the winner of FitX or PCA or whatever. Like it's now moving into that MPC, and again, like she'll always have a lot of love for the others. I'm not sure where her head space is in regards to it. Backstage, I think she realized how much people want that IFBB pro status. Like there was a lot of tears backstage as people was coming off stage and realizing that they're not in the the top three, etc., etc. And she felt like it was a bit extreme. And I said, well, most of these countries other than the UK only probably have the NPC, they only have the IFBB, they only have that route to go down. So to be the best, that is the silver lining. That's where they need to go. We got some on the live. They made a comment about her tan. Naya does her own tan.
Yeah, I saw that for AJ.
Naya being a mother, she tries to save money where she can, and that being the tan was that one. We lost backstage her glaze, and then we managed to find some, and we used that. So it was like a mixture of glazes and all of this. AJ complimented her tan. The actual live feed, the individual said it was too dark. We got judges' feedback. There was critical comments on posing. I felt watching Naya on stage, she didn't almost present herself tall as she normally would. She did kind of slouch, which made her midsection just not look as kind of tight as it is. As you can see through some of the posts, I put up one shot from backstage to on stage. But the judges' feedback was just a little bit more glue, adapt the posing. But yeah, great feedback for me. Really happy.
I just want to touch on something very quickly and get your feedback on this before we can move on. Regarding Naya had a breakout year in 2023. Yeah. She got a PCA Pro card. She won the overall through myself. She won the Atlas, and she had she had a lot of shows. It seemed at one point it was nearly every weekend that she was competing, and it was across all federations. So I'm not surprised that you just mentioned the fact that there is going to be a transition from her moving away from some of the other shows to the NPC. Now, this year, obviously the results haven't matched last year, but I guess in the end, when you have got PCA Pro status, you could now get in a bigger field, and of course, the lineups are also getting stronger. So, I guess my question is, with this year once again has been a lot of shows. It looks like through a lot of different federations. Was that the game plan to still go into multiple different federations, or was at any point the decision made to say, you know what, we now need to streamline and focus our attention on our end goal, which by the sounds of it, after the FitX British finals, we're going to focus more towards the NPC route?
Yes, yeah. Like you have to be very strategic as a coach, right? You have the conversation with a client, you kind of develop where their headspace is, right? What you can kind of guide and what you can't. And Naya's going to do multiple shows regardless, right? She loves it. She obviously, you guys at GSN look after her, right? Bikini Beauty look after her. Illegal nutrition with supplements look after her, right? So from a cost factor, it's probably in prep, it's probably not as expensive for her as it is many others. So to just chuck in a registration cost, do her own tan, do her own makeup, do her own hair, it's not that huge of a cost. So she's always going to do that. And then I have to look at that calendar, look what it looks like, and identify what my key focus is. And this year it has been very much kind of trying to Pokemon it, basically. What Pokemon do I need her to turn up to today? What's the criteria of this show? Where do I need her? And at times it has shown to be difficult, especially with how close they are. Most athletes, they finish, they want a burger and chips, they want a fucking cookie, they want this, and then you've got to kind of factor all that in. And again, mate, competing year on year, I imagine sometimes a judge, they see something new, and they're like, wow, okay, and it strays their eyes away from somebody they're seeing very frequently. So maybe that skewed the scoreboard this year. I think, again, 2022 is when she started competing. She competed at the beginning of 2023. She competed at the end of 2023. And then it was obviously the later, the first show of this year was August, the end of August. So it's been a heavy year of it. And maybe it's had a bit of wear and tear on just those small things that factor in that 1%. Like she trains very hard. She deserves every bit of success. It's just, for me, I needed Spain this year. I needed to step up in a very good lineup. Like we did the PCA Worlds. She got fourth there. I think it was
Yeah,
it was fourth.
fourth.
It was fourth there, and that kind of knocked her. But like again, you don't prep to come second. You don't prep for this. But when you understand at that level, you're going from. I remember Naya's first Worlds. She got fifth, right, in the amateur class. The year later, she wins. Then she did the pro class last year. She didn't get looked at. And then this year she got fourth. So if she continues that, you're just going to keep climbing those placings. And I think if things go the way I want it to, if her mind is aligned with mine, is the next show we do would be this show. It would be getting a qualification to go out there back to the Bigman Weekend, stand in front of those judges and show that we have improved and we want that top spot in the open class and we want to be seeing where we place in that overall.
Well, look, I'm going to finish on just the couple of the amateurs who competed at the Bigman Weekend, and then Matt, let's go into the Open Pro show. Let's talk about Mark, Lewis, Alex, and Lewis, Alex, Mark, and Mark. Mark George. Yeah, I was like, there we go. Okay, but I just want to just quickly jump on a couple of competitors, and I'll just talk about these guys before we move on to the open class. So, one of the girls who did got a class win and went to overall, Anya. So Anya was prepped by Megan. Yeah, looked fantastic. It looked like
looked incredible.
Yeah, so from the live stream and obviously from my feedback from AJ, looked like that she was holding the center spot, but it did seem like in the overalls that she did begin to fade. And it did seem that in the overall lineup, they were there for quite a while. So Anya, once again, came close. Her winning at a bikini class is nothing new to her. It's nothing new for her getting to the overall. She's one of those consistent performers. You can see from her shape in that picture next to Megan that she had an overall fantastic balance. Picture. Did you? Oh, there you go, Ben.
I took that picture.
I've seen Anya compete a few times, mate. She will be an IFBB pro very soon. She's a very.
I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't take it this weekend.
Yeah. She over Holland then at the William Burnett Classic. Okay. And one of the competitors as well is Aston. Aston also won her class and went into the overall. So very well done to Aston. She's had a few good results over the past few weekends. So many congratulations for her. I mean, look, once again, Bigman Weekend is always a prestigious show. Any show put on by Emilio, any show that's put on in Spain is always a fantastic production, always brings in the big lineups, maybe some lovely weather you get out there. But once again, it is a very tough show. And if you do get a placing, top 5, top 3, or even win your class, you know you're doing something right and you're going in the right direction. So well done to both of them. Let's go straight into guys. Okay, I'm going to very much let you guys do the talking here and get your feedback. So we're going to go into the Bigman Weekend. This is where we had 4 of the UK boys over there. So we're going to go through each one very quickly, and then we'll kind of go into the overall lineup. Mark Hector, let's go in 4th place.
Wow, what a comeback. What a comeback. I don't think, obviously everyone knows who Mark is, right? And everyone was expecting him to look good. I don't think they were expecting him to look this good. Like in the past, I think he struggled a little bit with condition. Obviously, he's coming back from injuries as well. We wasn't sure if that was going to affect his size or anything like that. But I think he absolutely nailed it, personally. And a great show to come back on, because this was by no means an easy show. It was packed, wasn't it? Like over 20 open guys in this
26 competitors. 26.
Madness, mate. So even to get top call out is really, really good. And again, like I said, especially coming off the back of the injury, he's had a couple of years out. It's made me quite excited to see what he can do moving forward for sure.
I remember seeing him at the Arnold's in the UK, and I think he had a lot of pressure back then on him doing and like almost over delivering. And then this year, like, I've almost wondered how he was going to deliver with obviously his partner. She's had a very successful year. This is probably a question for you, Matt. Like when you and your partner kind of prep and so on, if one's doing well, does the other one kind of support that?
I think it depends on the individuals. I have heard of couples getting a little bit sort of like jealous, and sometimes it can spur them on to do better. With me and G, it doesn't really matter. We have a little competition because we have a trophy cabinet either side of the TV. So we do try and have a little competition who can fill it up more. But in their case, they seem very similar and they're just very supportive of each other. And I think, to be honest, it's motivated Mark.
This post kind of clears it up as well, doesn't it? It's like he saw the success that Kerry was having and the relationship she was bonding with Meg, and how Cooper did his thing, and it kind of shows again that when you've got such a great relationship with your coach and you can bounce things off, it's probably the most comfortable a prep can be. I wasn't sure too much on Mark this year, with obviously him going through shoulder issues and stuff, and just wasn't 100% confirmed in my mind whether it was going to come together. But seeing him again, the visuals, everything, he looked impeccable. It wouldn't have surprised me if he got a higher placing.
What's exciting about Mark is he's got a high ceiling. Like if you look at his structure, is like very, very good, and you can tell like he's probably got more room to grow on there as well. And he could probably come in a little bit more conditioned again. So
definitely,
got more room to improve up the ranks for sure.
Yeah, I think for him, I mean, look, when we talk about condition here, we're comparing condition against the guys who are now competing at the Olympia. So we're looking at Akeem, who obviously won the Bigman Weekend. So that's not a knock on everything, but I think from the rear we could see that obviously yes, we could deal with some more diet, more condition on that side. But I think the biggest obstacle for Hector, for Mark, is going to be the staying injury free. Is that consistency of can you stay injury free? We know how injuries can be the most difficult obstacle to overcome that sets people back by months, sometimes years, and therefore bodybuilding is always evolving. New people are always coming through, and you can very quickly get forgotten. Mark, it was very easy for people to think that Mark returning at this show, Lewis Breed was probably the front runner on the UK side, having come fourth, fifth, and third in his most recent pro shows earlier this year. But the fact that Mark's impact got such great plaudits, breaking into that top four, and yes, you could easily give him a reason for maybe jumping to third. But I think really for Mark, the key thing here is, can he stay injury-free? Can he stay away from the surgery table? 2 shoulder surgeries on the same shoulder in the space of 5 months, which he's put here on the caption. But last one being 7 months ago. Can he actually get a good 12 months, an entire year, staying injury-free? If that's the case, then if this is a physique we're looking at that's gone through 2 shoulder surgeries, one of them being this year, then yes, the ceiling is super high. And this physique could evolve so much more. And yes, it could be one that could be so competitive that we can potentially see it on Olympia stage. Whether it's 2025 or 2026, really, that's going to come down to the staying injury-free. Yeah. The next one I want to bring up, guys, as well, is Lewis Breed. So Lewis took 6, having already come 5th, 4th, and 3rd this year. Obviously made a big impact over in America. I believe it was Texas Pro, where I think he took 3rd. But yeah, talk to me about Lewis.
Lewis is wicked. I know Lewis personally. He's a top bloke and a hard bloody worker. And it's an interesting one with him because with open guys, it's often just about chasing size, getting the biggest possible. Like Lewis already knows that he can bring condition, so it's not really an issue for him. For him, his main focus hasn't necessarily been chasing pure size. It's actually been doing all he can to work on his posing mobility and his waist control. Because structure is probably Lewis's weakness. So I was talking to Martin about it as well, and they've done a lot of things different throughout his prep this year to actually try and bring food volume lower to help bring the waist in, because this guy eats some crazy amount of food, man, like crazy food. Like he diets down and prep on like 6,000 or 7,000 calories, which is crazy. So yeah, they've done a lot to try and work on that. And I do think his structure is improving. I think that's the only thing that's really holding him back, because he's got a lot of other good things going for him.
I think he'll get the win in front of the right judges. I think he's very much got that freak factor that for a lot of judges, like I know obviously Akeem won and he's very much a freak. You look at Mark, his physique's freaky as hell. But I think with Lewis is when he comes out, one thing I noticed the most is just how veiny and vascular he is throughout his entire physique. And I think that to me is something I love to see. And in comparison to some of the other guys, you don't generally see that level of vascularity. And it's like you said, he's had a top 5. The first thing I ask him when I see him is how many meals, how many calories today. Like, it's just like you said, the amount he puts away. I'm just always curious. Like, it's something I'd love Martin to do, is maybe like a season recap on his athletes and just talk openly about some of the strategies he's done around peaking, around keeping them full as such, because he doesn't miss.
No, yeah.
I think the key thing for Lewis anyway is that he has been consistent with his results this year. Yes, it was a drop from his last 3 shows, from being fifth, 4th or 3rd, and then dropping to 6th. But then again, we also know the shows after Olympia can equally just be as tough when people want to get an Olympia ticket early. I mean, having that good 9-10 months build up to the Olympia. So well done to Lewis, and once again well done to Martin on his client there. But
I think like Michael said, like the right judges and right show at the right time, he can get it. Like, because within the IFBB Pro League, like there's tiers to the shows. There's high tier shows where you're going to get great competitors, and there's lower tier shows. And I think if they're strategic, they could choose the right one. I think he could get the qualification.
I think so. You look at like Branch Warren. Look at him. He's an absolute in his time. And you look at him. He was qualified for the Olympia, winning the Arnolds, etc., etc. And I always utilise like Branch's physique, and I don't know if Lewis would like be commenting on this, but I compare the two, and I very much think they're very similar people. Probably train different styles, probably do this, but Lewis Breed is like the bigger version of Branch to me.
Let's just jump on Mark Joyce. So Mark is another one of Martin's clients who's already done Romania and Prague. I think taking like top 10 finishes in both of those shows. So Mark obviously not making it into the top 6, but still, once again, it's been a consistent year for him. I don't really have any pictures from show day from him.
He's been in this game a long time. Like, I remember seeing Mark years and years ago when he was like top level amateur. And I think Martin, you'd say this is the best Mark Joyce has ever looked. I don't even know who prepped him or coached him prior to Martin, but yeah.
Matt, anything to finish up there?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like exactly what Michael said. He's improving, and as long as he keeps improving, I think him and Martin have got the formula there. So I have no doubts in the years to come, he's going to progress up the ranks and he will get into top call-outs. I don't know what their plan is now, if they're shutting it down for the season or if they're doing more. But I think in future he will level up and go up through the ranks, like I said.
Yeah, you would think they probably have shut it down now and focus on next year. The one last guy I want to finish on is Alex Assel, who obviously made his debut in the open class, took 3rd call-out.
Yeah, he was in the middle of 3rd call-outs as well, wasn't he?
He was at one point, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to see. Obviously, it was a big jump up going from 212 to open all in the same season. I think he did really well with it. Like, he still brought wicked condition. He just came in a bit fuller. He just needs a bit more size, really. But again, I think long term he could be a great competitor because he's got wicked structure. And we've had him on the channel. We know how quickly this guy grows. So I don't think it'll take him long to get the size that he needs.
He's like it. Combine his confidence with his work ethic, he's just going to continue to grow and shock people. I spoke to him the day of registration, and he'd just done a check-in with his coach, and he showed me some pictures, and it was unbelievable at that point. And I think he was like 4 meals in at this point, and his coach told him to have he gave him 4 meals and a cheat meal. And I was like, what do these meals consist of? I was like, you're having like 8 meals and a bloody cheat meal the day before your show. And he looked blown on that day. I think a tighter package would have probably seen him place higher, but I also think to hang with those bigger guys, he needed that fullness. He needed it, and he looked incredible.
Yeah, so I mean, we see here he's at 229 pounds, and we know at the 212 he was literally bang on 212, if not just slightly under. But I think we all agree, yes, that him having another full season focusing on growth, no longer having a cap of a 212 provides him. And I guess the key thing for him really is when it came to men's physique and 212, and even in amateur days of bodybuilding, condition was never a problem. So is he going to carry on bringing that nailed condition that we saw in previous pictures with shredded glutes, shredded ham thigh? Is he going to be able to bring that when he pile on the pounds, when he brings in further size? And I guess that should still be a yes, because he's only 25 years old. That muscle maturity is going to come with time. He's got plenty of time. He's got nothing but time on his hands. It's going to be interesting to see this guy evolve into an open bodybuilder.
I think he was saying something like his goal weight to be like next year or the next time he competes was like 270 or something, which is obscene. I was like, what?
The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if he reaches it. It would be absolutely crazy. And I'm pretty sure he's not far off the same height as Lewis Breed. I'm pretty sure Lewis Breed was about 250 on stage. So that's the difference at the moment. You know, there's about 20 odd pounds between them. And yeah, like the rate that this guy grows, I've no doubts he'll close that gap. So it will, mate, him at 270 would be crazy.
Well, look, Michael, I really appreciate your plan on this one, mate. Yeah, so thank you again, mate. And obviously, well, this goes out Friday, but we'll already be halfway through.
I'll give it a watch over the afterwards.
What's that, buddy?
I'll be giving it a watch to watch the naturals.
Top man, you take care of yourself.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. All right, cheers for Michael for jumping on. Obviously, he's always been a really big support. I really want to bring on the next person, because that is Laura, who's had a stormer of a year. Laura, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're
cool. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Laura, we can hear you just fine. Sorry for holding you there, but so look, the next bit I want to just jump on is the natural show over in France. So it's Sami Nutrition, and before I jump onto that one, Laura, and obviously I'll let Matt lead the questions. Why is this not opening up your account? And I do follow you. That's very odd. Yeah, I do follow you. Why is it not? Let me have a look here.
Maybe
Matt, I'll let
now and accept it.
But yeah, I'll let you ask the questions while I look into that.
I'll take it away. So first of all, congratulations. Absolutely incredible. Was this your main goal for the season, to achieve this pro card, or was it kind of just something you wanted to dabble in this year?
Yeah, so this time last year I attempted to go for the same show, and I was the only one in my class and ended up not getting in last year. But I guess like at the start of the year, I was like, oh, right, on a mission, I'm going to try again. And I had all these like shows all set out for the year, but it was just a bit of a mad year. I had to move out one of my flats, and then I had to move into another flat that had mice in it. So it was all just like moving around, like the mice eating at my oats. So I was trying to prep and stuff. So it was just like chaos. And then I guess just with work as well, I was kind of doing 2 jobs. So it was just a bit too chaotic. And then I got this new job just like about a month or so ago, and I thought, do you know what? Let's try and get that pro card again. And then I thought, like, I wanted to do like the 2 bros natural was my main goal at the start of the year, but I hadn't been on stage for quite a while, so I thought I'll do another show just to kind of get the experience getting back on stage again. And I ran into a couple of people, and they were kind of like, it was actually Ruta Roberts. She was like, oh, why have you not got a coach? You really need to sort that out. Like, actually get yourself focused and get yourself into gear. So she mentioned Jace was coaching her, and obviously Jace got quite a good reputation. So I just thought, let's just properly do this, just properly, not just like kind of running around doing my own thing. And it just made such a difference. It just took me to that next level. It just got me in the shape and just kept in such a short space of time, and it was just all these like finer details that just made such a big difference. So yeah, I just it was the plan at the start of the year, then it got a bit chaotic, and then got there in the end, and somehow managed to get there. But yeah, I guess just having actual support this time round obviously helped so much. So yeah, really pleased about it.
So what's next for yourself? Because this year, obviously, you got your PCA Pro card. And then, of course, your IFBB Pro card, but not many people do that in the same season. Getting 2 pro cards in the 2 biggest federations in the UK, you achieve that. So 2025, I'm sure you've already spoken to Jason about plans for next year. What's that looking like? Because we already saw the announcement from Tyler Mannion in regards to there'll be more natural pro shows in UK, Europe, because now you have to qualify and compete at the Ben Weider. So what's the plan for yourself?
Yeah, I would love to do the Ben Weeder. That's the goal, I guess, once. And then, yeah, just try and get as many natural shows done this year as possible. I think we are going to go just do more natural shows as opposed to like the kind of mixed shows. So, yeah, just as soon as everything's announced, we'll get a plan. I'm thinking, though, like probably about a year's a good amount of time, or like just under a year, to just kind of get back on stage properly, just because I've kind of at this new level now, so I just need to spend a bit more time just fine tuning things and ironing out a few things. Because although it was awesome getting the pro card, I know there are areas I need to improve on, and I just think a bit of extra time would really help for that, rather than just getting overexcited and be like, oh, I need to get on stage like I'm a pro now, kind of thing. So yeah, it would be good to get a bit of time to.
Let's talk about that then, because I think this would be a good opportunity to talk about that, because I'd like to know your opinions on it as well. I've got mixed opinions about the new rules, about the obviously you have to now qualify for the Ben Weeders. I think it could be a great thing if they announce a lot more pro shows for you to do, especially if they're closer to home. Because if, for example, there's only like 3 or 4 that you've got to go all the way to America for, the prize money isn't the best anyway. So even if you win, you're probably just going to be scraping even. Then just to qualify for the Ben Weeders, that'll make it tough. But if they release a lot more across Europe, like that would be pretty cool. So
Yeah,
what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, because I think initially, like, I was like, oh, I really want to do a show in the States. Like, that would be the next big thing. But, you know, it would be cool. Like, I guess if things were a bit closer, it would, like, I guess getting more practice on stage, getting more exposure, and just getting to experience being a pro more, rather than just having to wait, like, once a year for, like, one main show. So, yeah, it's really good news, and I'm glad it's being recognised that I can actually, get out and do more shows closer to home now.
I think my concern here, Matt, is I also want to ask you a question as well in a moment. My concern is that yes, hopefully there'll be more natural shows, but let's not forget the only people that qualify for the Ben Weeder Pro Show is if you win your natural pro class. So at the moment in the UK, we don't really see too many. I can't think of that many over the last few years when it comes to natural pro shows. So even if they have 1, 2, or 3, that's only limited to the winners. So I'm surprised that's just a winner. I'm surprised that it wasn't the top 3, just to gradually build it. But one question I want to ask you, Matt, because I'm sure this is going to feed into Laura. You were at the Ben Weeder this year. Yeah. Talk to me about the wellness class, the pro wellness class. Did you see the pro wellness over there?
No, I didn't see the wellness because the females was on a completely different day to my guys.
Was it?
So, and weirdly enough, the females was on Friday as well. It wasn't a weekend. So they were on Friday and then the guys were all on Saturday.
Let's see if we can find it. Laura, have you had a look at some of the winners from the Ben Weeder?
Had a look. Cheers.
Oh God, the receptions get pretty bad.
Yeah.
For me, sorry.
There's some weird background noise going on. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. I think something's humming. Can maybe I'll maybe take these headphones off if it doesn't cause any echo.
It's all good. I'm just trying to find the top 5.
What I was quickly going to say as well, Suki, elaborating on what you said, it also kind of makes it harsh on the naturals because they now have to win 2 pro shows to get to the Olympia, whereas normal people are untested only have to win 1. So it actually makes it harder as well.
Oh, right. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, so, I was a bit confused about the rules when I saw it now. So I was like, I need some time to kind of process how it all works. So yeah, I guess it would be a bit.
But they can't be expecting, like Suki said, like only like if there's only 3 or 4 pro shows, they can't be expecting only 3 or 4 people per category at Ben Weeders. So they must be making plans to release a lot more. So I think we're just gonna have to wait for that show schedule to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Start planning from there.
Well, look, I don't know what's going on there. It's just unfollowed me again. Anyway, we'll leave it. Well, look, Laura, one thing I've got to say is obviously I've seen you compete at my show back in 2023. So I've seen the progression you've made through different federations, and of course, winning your PCA Pro Status and then winning the IFBB Pro card through last weekend. No surprise with your coach, Jace, because he's had a killer season. And of course, through our panel, you were voted second in the natural female athlete because of that accolade of winning a process PCA and IFBB in the space of a month. So huge congratulations there, and very well done. But me and Matt look forward to following your journey in 2025 and seeing what happens when it comes to natural shows in the UK and Europe.
Thank you so much. No, I appreciate that. And yeah, like you say, it's been a good journey, and just looking forward to what's coming next, and working with Jace to achieve that.
Awesome. You take care of yourself, Laura. Have a good day.
Bye, Laura.
All right. So look, I'm literally I'm just checking my DM to see where's Alicia. In fact, just drop me a message. Okay, Alicia said that she can't see the email, so I'm going to resend the email link to her now. But just while we're on that, I mean, just give me your thoughts then about the new rules on the natural bodybuilding scene. Did you think that how did you think it should be structured for next year?
I know what they're doing, and I like it long term because I think it's going to encourage a whole natural league, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Like, they're doing a lot more pro qualifiers, which for amateurs is fantastic, like really, really good. And that in turn should pump more money into it, which in turn should create more pro shows with hopefully better prize money. Because I put a story up, and the winner for Ben Weeders was $1,500, which really is not great. Like, PCA pay way more than that at every show that they do. Like, PCA is £2,000, so what's that? $1,500. And this is the qualification for the Olympia. You know, I think they're just trying to grow the whole thing. So long term, it could be good, but short term for the pros, I think it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for them.
Yeah, I'm surprised that is just the winner. I am interested to see what the UK does. Are we going to see something similar to what PC are doing and actually having a natural NPC British finals in the UK? If I was Two Bros, if I was in NPC UK, I would 100% be doing that because of natural season absolutely booming. As we know, there's going to be 8 federations for natural shows in the UK, and with more opportunities coming, the opportunities really are in America. So now we transition, how do you get there in the UK? Yes, we might have 1 or 2 shows over Europe, but we need to get a lot more over in the UK. So I'm interested to see what that lineup looks like and how that works. And
the France show, did they co-promote that with someone else? I'm pretty sure they did, didn't they?
Yeah, it was co-promotion because Ian was on the mic.
Yeah,
I'm sure I saw the logo on the somewhere in the banner at the back. So yeah, it'd be interesting anyway.
That'll probably turn into a pro show next year, I think.
Yeah, you would think that. Okay, I'm waiting for Alicia to come on, and she won the figure pro card. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to jump on Izzy. She won the figure pro card. Alicia won the bikini, Izzy won the figure. So yeah, I mean, look, I saw Izzy earlier this season. I believe she came second at the WBF Supernaturals. She then jumped over to the Two Bros, where she took the win in the figure division. That is the Bikini Coach Cup, and then of course got a pro status over at the over in France. I know there was another UK girl. I forgot her name. I believe her Instagram is something Empress Chantel. That's it. Who's LRS client. She also won her class, and it was between her and Izzy. Thoughts on Izzy? If you got a chance to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen her compete in person, but I've seen her photos. I obviously know Louis Blackmore as well, her coach, and yeah, they've done a fantastic job. Really, really good. And to do the season that she's done is absolutely awesome. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in the future. I think her and Louis are obviously a great partnership, so it will be interesting to see. I'll be interested to know how busy the figure class was over in France. I think last year it wasn't that busy, but this year it was a completely new location. I don't know if Izzy did last year, but it'd be interesting to know what the difference was, like how they found a venue change and everything like that. Was it a better promotion? But yeah, either way, awesome win. And hopefully the new rules out will give her more opportunities moving forward, but we'll find out.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what the actual numbers were for the classes, but look at those 4 girls with overalls. They all stood out with having really good shape and condition, and the overall look for what the NPC look for when it comes to the figure route, especially on the natural scene. So, yeah, interesting to see what Izzy does next as well. But look, fair play to the girls 3 IFBB Pro cards for the UK in the female division. So that was a phenomenal result. I'm just going to bring this back up because I'm going to jump on a few people very quickly because we did have a few other UK competitors over there as well.
Are we going to talk about the controversy?
You know what, mate? Yeah, let me just jump on this one very quickly, man. So obviously we had David. David is doing really well for UK DSBA.
I'm usually impartial and try and see both sides of the fence. I'm shocked he didn't get it, mate. Have you seen this guy compete?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times.
He's nuts. He's so good. So I would like to have been there in person. Maybe the photos, maybe the videos didn't show a true reflection of what was going on, but I'm very surprised he didn't get it. Hopefully he's not disheartened because he's got a pro-worthy physique. It's Lewis, isn't it, his coach?
Yeah, Lewis.
I think he was a little bit miffed by it as well, but that's bodybuilding sometimes, guys, and it can go that way. You just got to dust yourself off and keep going.
But look, before I go into the rest, I should see Alicia just jumped in. So I'm going to add Alicia to the chat. Alicia, how are you doing?
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How are you guys?
Very good. Very good. We're excited to hear about your sort of account of the show and how you found it and everything like this. So yeah, like Suki said, congratulations. Wicked shape here, obviously coached by LRF. So how was the show? Did you really enjoy it? Did you do France last year? Was this your first pro qualifier?
So I competed for the first time last year. I did the Roastrick Rumble as my first ever show. So that was my first ever regional. And then I went and did...
Big one to start with.
Yeah, definitely. And then I did the Gymshark Ryan Terry Pro Qualifier last year. And that was my 2 shows. And then this year I competed in 5 shows. So I did 2 PCA shows, then did the Naturals Regional, then went over to Denmark, did the Pro Qualifier there, and then went to France. So yeah, this was my 3rd Pro Qualifier.
Nice.
And just to confirm, you're 22, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Fair play. How's it competing abroad?
I absolutely loved it. Honestly, it's another level, isn't it, out there? I think that was like my one goal from last year was I wanted to go and compete in Europe. So yeah, going to do that was amazing.
Nice. So we've been talking a fair bit already about the sort of new rules that are coming into place within bikini, especially like the natural scene within bikini. Those categories are always super busy. Like the Ben leaders, I know it was like crazy busy. The natural regional I go to, it's always really busy. So the new rules, in effect, should actually be better for bikini because it should be like less busy. In effect, you would have thought. So what's your thoughts on the new rules that are coming out? And have you got a plan for next year?
So basically, I haven't got any plans yet. So I've spoke to Rob about it. So I've got a week off now. And then obviously from sort of Saturday, I'm getting back into training and we'll get a plan in place from there. In terms of the new rules, just which ones are you referring to there?
So in terms, because you're now pro, you've got to now qualify for the Ben Weeders. And then the Ben Weeders is the qualifier for the Olympia. Yeah.
I think it probably... I haven't really put too much thought to it, to be honest.
Give it a chance, Matt. It's only a few days.
What's just happened? Yeah, still trying to get my head around that I've actually turned pro, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Was this your goal for the season?
Yeah, definitely. When I joined Rob, so I joined Rob in February, and obviously I sort of said that was my end goal. But like I think I have quite a lot of not necessarily like self-doubt, but it didn't feel like a realistic goal to turn pro, obviously because I'd only competed sort of the first time last year. I know sort of how long it takes. So I sort of had this goal in mind that by the time I was 25, I'd really like to turn pro. So for it to already happen this
3
year,
years early,
is still, it's insane. I still can't quite wrap my head around it's happened.
No, that's awesome. I also just obviously want to give a couple of shout outs as well because we did the Natural Athlete of the Year Awards where our panel put you in 3rd place, and obviously I think a big part of that, Alicia, played the fact that at only the age of 22, I don't know where that ranks when it comes to being one of the youngest IFBB pros. I know obviously on the male side, Jack Eagles got it at 20. Michael Fox's figure client in Lizzie got it at 21. So where you are on the female side, whether you are in the top 3 when it comes to youngest IFBB pros, and I guess also more specifically the bikini division, where we have obviously the female side the most number of IFBB pros in the UK when it comes to bikini, you probably must be one of the youngest out there. Do you know anybody else that is?
I know Scarlett's quite young. I'm not sure how old Scarlett is. Maybe 22.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'd love to understand, where that age bracket is, because, as you said, that was a goal for yourself, maybe for 2025 when you're 25, and now obviously 3 years ahead. It's going to be exciting to see what happens next. I just wanted to finish on one question as well. LRF, Rob, your coach, that was his 26th IFBB Pro card. Now he's nominated for the Pro Coach of the Year award that we're going to be awarded winner today. Obviously, this comes out the day after. Yeah. What makes him such a good coach when on why he knows that bikini is something he seems to have got it right nailed down when it comes to IFBB Pro status. So just give me a little insight about what makes him different to some of the other coaches.
So it's his sort of response time, and all the training and everything is so specific to bikini. So I know sort of like previous training programs that I've done before, they've been nowhere near sort of as tailored as Rob has got all his training for bikini. And obviously movements wise, there's lots of different movements in there that I'd never really tried before. And I know that I struggle with sort of my quads, and that was feedback from last year, was no more quads. You'll get too big in that area. So it's like making sure that the training was like literally glute bias, hamstring bias. So I don't really do very many compounds in my training and stuff. He's on it. And I did like 2 check-ins a week with him. That's sort of how our coaching works, which is really nice. And then obviously that one-to-one, his response time is so quick. And if you've ever got any issues, he's just straight on it. I just think he's just such a good coach, and because he's so responsive and things, you do get like your questions answered quickly. So then you are sort of like making the maximum of the coaching in the time you've got. So like obviously when you are in that off season, there's no sort of questions left unanswered and things like that. Yeah, he's so good. And it was even like in between the regional and my turning pro, I didn't have like hair extensions in. I know it's really random, but it's like the little things. Like he put a post on his Instagram, I'm not sure if you've seen it yesterday, and you could see the difference in my back shot just from putting hair extensions in. And it's things like that other coaches might not sort of pass across, you know, what colours look good on stage, things like that. He knows all sort of the ins and outs there, that just brings the whole look together and makes sort of the massive impact then when you're on stage.
I think you did hit the nail on the head there, because those small details really do matter, particularly in bikini. Like even bikini colors, like what color you wear, like is so important, and the type of cut that you wear in a bikini suit and things like that. So I think you're right. It'd be interesting to know, because how many of his pro cards are purely from bikini? Does he have pros in any other category?
He does bigger, doesn't he, as well, and men's physique.
Yeah, I've seen. It's a good mixture. But yeah, look, obviously 26. We'll see if it gets to 30 next year. Look, Alicia, many congratulations. Look forward to see what happens next then in regards to the next show that you plan to do, and of course what the natural scene looks like, especially for a pro competitor in 2025. Hopefully those announcements will come very soon, and then you can start planning your calendar for next year.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for your time.
One more question. Have you changed your Instagram bio name yet?
Not yet. I've got it in my name, so you know it's like Alicia Blackhurst, Bikini IFBB Pro.
Cool.
So yeah, just a matter of time till I change that one. It's deciding if I leave the Blackhurst in or if I change it to B, because I think it might be too long then.
Big decision.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Perfect.
Take care, Alicia. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Look, obviously, well done to Alicia. And one let's jump on here. We mentioned that earlier, Matt, before we put on the next guest, and there was a little bit of controversy. I want you to just explain this in a bit more detail. I just want to find that the graphic. What day was it?
Saturday.
Saturday. So,
The controversy is then mainly the main thing. Well, actually, there's two things about this, wasn't there? So the first one was he failed his drug test or polygraph test, wasn't it, for WNBF, right?
So WNBF had it was the Belgium show, and he was the only competitor. Okay, there's a couple of things here. Let's start with this. So this is not a knock on this competitor. I just want to be clear, because in the end, you only go by the rules of the federation. So unfortunately, this competitor didn't pass the polygraph test at the WNBF Belgium show, and it sounds like that he was the only competitor. WNBF have a fixed rule of being 10 years clean. So that was the controversy. Really stems from that, because this competitor then competed in France, which once again, as we know with the NPC, their ruling is 3 years clean. So a 7-year difference compared to WNBF. So we've got a competitor that has failed a test through one federation, but then that's different rules. So they kind of maybe wipes away that controversy. The next one is then not only does he win his IFBB Pro card in bodybuilding, but then he then goes into Classic and then wins his Pro card in Classic as well. We've got both shots here, the right in bodybuilding and the left in Classic. It's important to also understand that there is no rule in NPC that doesn't stop a competitor from doing multiple classes. The question is it the right thing morally on the competitor or coach standpoint, or is it morally right on the federation that should they have stepped in? And the other side really is the criteria. Is it, if someone's won the bodybuilding, can they also meet the criteria for Classic, or is that down to who you compete against on the day?
Yeah. So first of all, in terms of like the drug thing side of things, so obviously WNBF, NPC, IFBB, they're completely different federations. So although I know a lot of people kicked off about it, at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. If he still can qualify to compete in NPC, then he's got every right to compete within that. It's NPC, up to NPC and IFBB to change their rules, and that's up to people to write to the NPC and IFBB about. I don't think it's for people to slate the guy about, because
that's never going to change. That rule will never change. That rule is there to ensure they can get the most number of competitors to compete with NPC. That's the only reason, and that will never change from 3 years. In fact, one of the ruling is 6 months.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
on certain diuretic.
I think there's a couple of things that's 5 years. The majority is 3 years, and there's a couple of things that are like 6 months. Yeah, but speaking on that, expanding on your point there, because that goes on nicely to the other thing. It's about getting people in, right? And that's exactly the same reason as why they allow you to win more than one pro card, because they want more money. They can get more class entries. To do a class entry in an IFBB Pro qualifier, you're looking at over £200. So they're going to make way more money from doing that.
Let me put you in the shoes of that competitor. If you were his coach and your competitor just won his pro card in bodybuilding and he was registered to compete in Classic, would you have allowed him to compete in the Classic class?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what happened to Charles in France last year. He won the bodybuilding pro card. That's it. We were done.
Sorry, I didn't realize. So just to confirm, Charles, when he competed in France, when he got his pro card over there, was he registered for both classes?
I'm pretty sure he was. I know we did it in it was a while ago now. It was a whole year ago, but I'm pretty sure he was. Like, we did the regional, we did both classes. But I remember we went in to get the gold, we went in to get the IFBB Pro card. So I can't even remember, mate. But even if he wasn't, even if he was, we definitely wouldn't have done the Classic, because we achieved the goal. I don't see the point in taking it away from someone else. And that's the point that I wanted to bring up, because at Ben Weeders, mate, it happened loads. Absolutely loads, because not only did the open class winners get a pro card, actually the open class winners got 2 pro cards, but the masters categories got it as well. So 35 plus and 45 plus. So you were seeing guys doing the open, masters, and winning 2 pro cards a lot. And it was harsh to see for the other competitors that were still worthy. Like, at the end of the day, it's a sport. If you win, you win, yes. But if you're going there to get a pro card, what's the point in collecting multiple? Bragging rights, but I think it takes an opportunity from someone else. So
I think if we look at that opportunity, I think the reason why it may have hit home in the UK a lot more was because the other competitor in Classic and the overalls was a UK competitor in Jack Kinsey-Clough, who nailed condition. It looked like that he was the one to maybe take the pro card, but of course we don't know who was in the lineup on the day. So I think that's why it hit home a little bit more, because the thing is, well, as we know, Jack did say that if he got his pro card, then he will then start looking at being assisted. We know how if you miss an opportunity to win it, it does not guarantee that next time you step on stage, you'll be that close. Because it's very easy that all of a sudden, when you have an opportunity, you may never get that opportunity again, especially when it comes to natural bodybuilding, because the shows are so few. So you really got to make the most of that opportunity. And that's why I think it really stings a lot more versus a normal NPC Pro qualifier. That's not a natural show, because you've got those shows happening every single weekend. But natural ones are far more rare. And I think that's why it stings a lot more, especially on the natural scene. And something like this, where the rules for 10 years for WNBF, and sometimes it's lifetime for other federations, versus 3 years for NPC, that's a ruling. Okay, we understand that. If you're going to compete as a fully fledged natural competitor, you have to understand that you may go up against somebody who may have been assisted back in 2021, and now 2024, he's probably gone through 3 years being natural. The other side is just this awarding 2 pro cards. It really should never have happened. It's one class after another. I don't understand why maybe the judges just allowed that. That was surely going to add some controversy. Maybe they felt that it wouldn't really reach for social media and people wouldn't talk about it. And yes, something like this will easily get forgotten in a week or two. But really, morally, as a judge, as a federation, I just think that really they missed the ball there, where they should have stepped in and avoided this situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it is harsh because, again, going back to your point there about there's not many pro qualifiers, people travel from all around the world to do the Ben Weeders. It costs a lot of money to get to America and compete in that show. And then if you come in second place to a guy that's already got it, it's harsh, man. It's really, really hard. Let's now talk about the fact that you can do 2 different categories and win your pro card in both, right? So that's the other thing. So he did open bodybuilding and he did classic, and he won both. So a lot of people were sort of saying, how can you qualify in both categories and fit the criteria of both? And my thoughts on this, I'll be good to hear your thoughts, Suki. My thoughts on this is absolutely correct. However, if this was PCA, it wouldn't happen, because PCA really do go for classic structure more than anything else. But if you look at the IFBB, okay, if you look at the Ben Weeders, the guys that were in the top 3 in the classic pro show, they weren't the most classic guys on the stage. What they go for is someone that's as close as possible to an untested IFBB pro. So they go for guys that have the most size and the most density with their physique. They don't necessarily go for someone that's got structure. Now, if someone had an incredible structure, like if Yemi, for example, was natural and he got on stage, like he's got insane structure, that might be enough to sway it. But if someone's got a little bit better, like Jack had a little bit more classic structure than the other guy, I haven't seen him in person, so I don't know. But if this other guy that actually won had more density to his physique, had more size, in NPC, IFBB, that's what they're going to go for.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I've always looked on the natural scene that the difference between natural bodybuilding and a natural classic is so minor, it's so small detail. Because if you look at other federations like WNBF, they're the worlds. They don't have a classic. It is literally bodybuilding. They have different weight limits, and then before that, it's men's physique. So when you have a classic in there as well, it really becomes very skewed because there's only a limit. Maybe, yes, you've got some genetic freaks, but the reality is, a natural competitor, there's only really a certain amount of muscle that you can put on naturally that can fill your frame, and it can just be so close. And all of a sudden, then what are you marking on? Are you marking on shape, symmetry, posing? That's all it can be. So when I looked at the difference between Jack and the winner in the classic, the main difference that I saw was Jack was far more shredded, but the other fella looked like he carried more muscle. But based on that, carrying more muscle, is that fall on the criteria for bodybuilding? Or the other aspect is, I didn't see the full lineups on the bodybuilding side in that natural overall. I mean, I've seen some. We don't know what that lineup was like versus the classic lineup. Were they just similar physiques? We know how sometimes people can be like shocked that a person has won the class because you haven't seen the other competitors that person was up against, and obviously you can't control that. So it's something that I think the key thing for NPC to look at, and I hope they do, is does there need to be a rule of awarding multiple pro cards? If someone has won the IP pro card in a certain division, do they need to go and compete in the second one? If I was in that coach's position as well, I probably would have pulled the competitor and said, look, mate, no need. You don't need to go to the Classic. You got your pro card, enjoy it, job done. There's no need to go and get 2 pro cards because that's not going to prove anything. If you got your pro card in bodybuilding and you want to transition to Classic, I'm sure you can. But yeah.
What I would love to happen is if they win their pro card in the first category, the IFBB NPC say, don't worry about the second category. You've already got it. Here's your money back for your second category. But that's never going to happen, is it? It's just never going to happen.
No, exactly. And I don't think we'll ever see anyway a position where with the NPC that you can only compete in one category like PCA. It's always going to be the case where you could do multiple classes. So look, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it did get a strong reaction from the natural scene. I'm not surprised.
I feel for Jack because he did look absolutely amazing. But like I said again, if you look at the Ben readers, the chap that actually came fourth was easily the most classic guy on the stage. But he didn't win because he didn't have as much size and density as the top 3. So that's you just got to look at the federation criteria. And, if that's what they're awarding at the top level, then at the lower level shows, that's what they're going to be rewarding in general as well. Of course, there's going to be outliers based upon the head judge's preference, but generally that's what they're going to be going for.
Yeah, 100%, mate. All right, buddy, we're going to leave it there because we just hit the hour mark. So I think the next time we'll catch up this weekend. I know we've got the William Bonac Classic. So we've got a couple of athletes. Nick Elliott is over there. He missed out by 1 point in Denmark to I can't remember the fellow name who won the bodybuilding division. Nathan Heckrules, who is
Martin's
I want to say which client is it?
Martin.
Is that Martin? Yes, of course. Martin's got a client compete this weekend, so he's over there. Anya is over there as well. I'm not sure who else from the UK is over there as well. So that seems to be one of the last ones in Europe before the season really comes to a close. On the European side, there are some other shows in Asia. I know you got the India Amateur Olympia, but I don't think anyone from the UK is going over there. So I think next time we catch up, we'll probably do a reflection on that, but also reflect on the Pro Coach of the Year award, and we can have a little chat about why that winner was number 1, and maybe where some of the other ones ranked in that top 5 lineup.
Yep, sounds good, mate. Sounds good. Season's coming to an end, bro. Crazy.
That's it. A few more weeks left of the year. You take care, buddy.
You too. Cheers, guys.
All right.